and it's also a superfood, considered a superfood. It's used in cosmetics for the beauty products, topical treatments, creams, soaps, and other health supplements. And it could also be used as feedstock for biodiesel with very high biofuel yields. So it could be used as biodiesel or bioethanol. So for biodiesel, the oil will be extracted, and then for bioethanol, we need to ferment it and get the alcohol. So even the biomass itself could be used as a biofuel. And it can also be used to purify wastewater. So the need to cultivate algae, it includes water, nutrients, and the carbon dioxide. So for the part of water, we could use just wastewater to be able to cultivate it. And at the same time, the wastewater is being purified as it is used in the process. It absorbs greenhouse gases, reduces carbon dioxide, and releases oxygen. It's like we are planting trees. So the climate change is addressed here, being considered here in this project. So it reduces the amount of greenhouse gases because it absorbs pollutants. It absorbs carbon dioxide because that's what is really needed in the cultivation. And it releases oxygen, more than what plants can give. Algae is not a plant, it is just a plant-like organism. But it also uses the process of photosynthesis, where it uses sunlight, the carbon dioxide, and nutrients to grow. And wherever it is, it could be cultivated because it has a very great flux tolerance and high photosynthetic efficiency. More than what other plants can do. It can really produce, or we can really mass produce the algae. It could really grow so much in just a short period of time. And wherever you put it, in cold areas or in warm areas, it could withstand the varying temperatures. And with only little nutrient requirements. So we just need, even the hog manure can be used as a source of nutrient for the algae. And we have what we call the BG11 that we use in the cultivation, and we also buy it from the University of the Philippines so that everything is controlled, there are no microorganisms. But hog manure is also suggested by the experts from the University of the Philippines. And green algae cultivation is equivalent to tree planting because when we cultivate algae, it releases the oxygen, more oxygen released as compared to tree planting, to the trees. So the microfarm absorbs the carbon dioxide and at the same time releases the oxygen that we need to live. So what we have the equivalent, how many? So with the, like around hectares of trees, we don't have the value, the computation, but according to the research that we have just read, even just a bioreactor could produce the oxygen levels that is comparable to hectares of trees planted. That's how great the oxygen levels are, but we need to find it, and we need to research more on that.
The calculation of that is being done by one of the researcher in Abu Dhabi because they are computing the carbon footprint of each, because according to them that is being one of the being sold there in stocks, something like that. So they will be computing it for us. So the carbon footprint.
And of course, the green algae harvest is equivalent to generated income. What do we intend to sell? It could be the culture itself, it could be the algae biomass, the algae harvest, and the products that we developed. All of those we intend to sell because that's how profitable algae cultivation is. We can sell the culture for research purposes because there are other universities and schools studying that are studying about algae, And the biomass itself, that's the question I think that Sir was asking just a while ago. We also intend to sell the harvest, the algae itself. The biomass, when dried, when desiccated, when the moisture is removed, we can sell it also as raw materials for different products. So maybe businessmen or other commercial industries could also buy from us as we cultivate algae and we provide them the biomass needed for their products. And we also intend to do product development. That's why we have what we call the Zayed Community Hub. The one that we are talking a while ago, wherein there will be livelihood trainings and product development will be the main focus. So our main goal is to offer an innovative alternative for the effective cultivation of green algae. So this is our specific objective, number 1.
So to culture algae in a controlled system, which is the greenhouse type, so that is our Louvre-like photobioreactor, which the target would be 400 metric tons of cultured algae per acre per year. That per acre per year is equivalent to the size of the photobioreactor.
So this is the algae biomass concentration. Because when we have the algae in liters, it's not yet the concentrated algae that we intend to obtain. We still need to remove the moisture. So this is the target amount for the algae biomass of our harvest.
Wait a minute, there's a difference with the culture and the algae.
Yes.
What are you referring to cultured algae? The algae, not the culture. The algae, not the culture.
That's
To cultivate the green algae. That's used as a verb there. To culture or to cultivate the green algae.
Okay.
cultivated algae.
Cultivate the algae is the algae itself.
Yes.
That concentration, that's dry,
Yes, the biomass, the dry mass.
powder already.
Yes, the powder.
400 metric tons? 400
This-
metric tons of...
Per acre.
0.25 kilo
Per acre.
per
Not yet.
acre per year.
That's the
Target, that's our target.
What's your cost of investment for the entire facility to produce 400 metric tons of algae
That's huge.
per acre is humongous.
Yeah.
Yes, we are planning to have different algae microfarms, not only in our school, in different schools and even in other regions. Like in Ilocos, there's one contact there which also intends to build a microfarm.
What's the investment? He has a company. What's it going to cost him to do a hectare to produce 880 tons from a single hectare if you scale yours up? How much does that cost just for your base investment?
For the initial investment, for our proposal, the money that we'll be getting from
No. I want to know how much it costs to make a hectare of this. In other words, all of your facilities. What will it cost to produce a hectare? We've got people in Sulu all over the place that are cultivating algae, processing it in Cebu and all. And she's from a makeup company and whatever else. This has the entire issue here is if you can produce that much algae here, okay, you can supply the demand of the entire world in this, okay? How much does it
That's
cost
really
to do
our
this?
target.
And have you proven this?
the computation of this one was provided by our engineer partner
The
in
cost will be like around 5.2 million won't be enough. The prize money that we will get will not be enough for all those amount because we need to fabricate the bioreactors and of course the initial supply of the algae, which is 3,000 per liter, will be costly. So that will be less than 10 million approximately
Okay, now,
for the costing.
how much is the value of 400 metric tons? But how much is that worth? Assuming you produce it. 400 metric tons of cultured algae. How much is that going to be worth? What?
We haven't gone through the costing yet. This is just our target, not yet done, but I think it's ambitious for us to do that. But really, that's our ultimate target because we intend to have different microfarms all over the country.
Okay, what is the market value of 1 metric ton? 1 metric ton in the market now, if you were to buy it? Yes.
What's the retail price of a kilo?
What is the retail price? How much is, if you want to buy 1 ton of cultured algae, how much would you have to pay right now in the market?
No, that is not being sold in the market. So we are just starting the culture.
It's not.
It's not in the market yet.
No, it's not already in the market because this is a proposal. So that's why. And
That's why this will be the very first in the country.
in the Philippines.
That's why we, all of us do not have that exact or specific values yet. There is already, maybe the one that Sir was telling us a while ago, they're culturing algae in Cebu. Maybe it's a different species of algae or the microalgae, the seaweeds or the chlorella, because we have proven that here in the Philippines, no chlorella microfarm has been constructed yet. Spirulina, there are different spirulina microfarms in the country, but for the chlorella,
I'm talking about everyone who's planting algae in the ocean.
that's the
Seaweed.
microalgae.
That's the
or the
different
seaweed.
one.
This is the microscopic algae. The seaweeds are the macro algae, which can be found everywhere, even in the in Aplaya, in our it is really abundant, but the chlorella, it really has to be cultured first, cultivated in a controlled system.
In a greenhouse.
that's a different product.
Greenhouse. That's a greenhouse, right?
Yes, that's our proposal. So instead of cultivating plants at macro level, we intend to cultivate the microscopic organisms, which could really have profitable yields. But in terms of the costing, maybe we need to prepare more on that because we are still in the initial stages of the project.
Yeah.
And
You need a business discipline. You need business.
yes, that's why
Accounting, do it. Accounting.
we will really be needing the help of the professional people in business sector.
Maybe you came to the right place. Maybe. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Mutual. Maybe you could also help us, and we can, as we go along with the project.
Okay. Okay.
This is our objective number 2, to educate all stakeholders of the school and even in our community about the promising characteristics, properties, and value of green algae. So we intend to do information dissemination activities in our community, and we have here the target participants in our school. Apart from the school, we have the construction of the Zayed microfarm.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
You say to that, I would like at the end of this day, nobody leaves until we see who will help and when. Is that okay with you? I then give my legacy to you. Make sure that all this now becomes complete. You know, madam, I have good and brains.
Yeah, okay. Talking to the mic. Arnie, talking to the mic. Yeah.
Okay. We are in charge of implementation. It's beautiful, as the two of you are. But you hear him say, we have. It's not real or not. Maybe they're just talking. They don't mean it, but we mean it. Therefore, Vijay, as my designated co-chair, I'd like to say, do not leave this room until you find out if these people are really willing to help, who, what, where, and how. Because unless we do that, they go away into the sunset, we go away, clap, and it's all over. This is fantastic. You're the best in the whole world, right? But you will need the best of the Philippines to help you with some things, I think. And therefore, on that note, wish me luck. I'm in the Senate hearing. We're fighting for water.
Okay. Go ahead. No,
Thank you,
please
sir.
continue.
That's why we're
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
My output, we're businessmen, with output. What output here is the DG as a person to praise or to criticize. We have accountability. The output is that before you leave this room, you have some ideas as to who will help and what help, right? Because you know, enough standard there. I was ahead of all the standards. I kind of know this, right? But I vowed to the millennials who will lead the whole people that the path.
Okay. Yeah, but please continue. Go ahead. Oh.
So we also intend to decrease the calculated carbon footprint of the school through the production of a green energy alternative, as mentioned a while ago. And for our objective number 4, we are targeting to construct a Zayad community hub where we can train different individuals and households and empower them with regards to the products that can be developed out of the algae. And it's outside the campus, it's situated at the Jamboree Lake of Muntinlupa City. And our mayor has also pledged to support us when it comes to the construction of the community hub in our city. Here are the products that can be developed out of the algae, or the Chlorella vulgaris species that we intend to cultivate. Okay, for food, we have the seasoning and flavor enhancers, and it could be used as ingredients for various food products because it is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, proteins, and it can also be used as natural colorant for food or food dye, algal flour, binding agent or gelatin, and used for candies and snacks. So these are the products that can be developed from the Chlorella vulgaris.
And for the pharmaceutical products that can, algae can also be used for vitamins, growth enhancers, food supplement, cosmetics, and drug excipients and essential oils.
In agriculture, since it's rich in protein, it could be used as fish feeds, livestock feeds, fertilizers, and wastewater treatment agents. So for wastewater treatment plants, algae could also be used. And for energy, as what we have mentioned, it could be a good feedstock for biodiesel, bioethanol, biomass fuel, and briquette. The biomass itself, the dry mass, could be used to form briquettes or the charcoal. Biogas, so those are used in the energy products. And these are the phases of our project implementation.
So the project implementation would start from the construction of the microfarm, which will start in April. So upon the grant
Hopefully.
of the Zion Sustainability
We are
Grant.
sending out letters to various foundations and companies hoping that they would respond. While we are waiting for the cash prize, maybe little by little we could gather the finances needed to construct the microfarm. So we are planning to do the groundbreaking hopefully this April. And the fabrication of bioreactors or the containers with the mixers and the spargers will be done as well. And
Excuse me, bioreactor is the mixer.
the containers with the mixers,
Mixer.
yes, and the light source will be on top of, or the ceiling of the microfarm itself. The microfarm serves as a big photobioreactor with around 50 containers.
Each container has a mixer.
Yes.
A mixer is like a paddle, you mix it around.
Yes,
Paddle.
like agitator that will allow even movement of the microalgae.
Is that run electrically or mechanically or by solar?
Yes, it is run by solar powered because
Solar
we will be installing solar panels there.
And there will be motors to
There will be
run the
motors.
agitators.
And this is running 24 hours a day?
Yes.
24 hours.
24 hours.
Okay.
Powered by the solar panels, the photovoltaic system that we have. And the LED lights will also be run by the solar panels. And for the phase 2, we have the algae cultivation and harvest. So we will procure the algae species from the University of the Philippines, our supplier. We have already ordered around 30 liters of algae Chlorella vulgaris. Yes, ma'am?
Does UP make them or they also import?
They cultured it upon order because they are not producing that in large scale because that is just only being used for research purposes.
But they're not really selling it to companies. Yes, sir.
You don't need that much. You can even have a fraction of that. As long as you have the
Excuse me, can you talk into the mic?
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
talk into the mic. Yeah.
You can save more in your costing. Because algae multiply every second. And the growth depends on sunlight.
Yes.
Without sunlight, they will never grow. So what you don't need a very complicated bioreactor. Just a simple tank will do. Simple tank that is transparent. Above ground is the best because you have a bigger area of coverage.
And
Yes, but according to our study, the research project that we have, as compared to the algae cultivated in just a small container without the agitation and the sparging, it really has a significant difference when it comes to the biomass, the dry mass, because the density was greater because of of course, the presence of the agitator and the LED, which also supplies the energy needed by the algae.
What I'm talking about is the bioreactor, not on the aerators. In every living thing, you need aerators to survive.
Yes, as
Without
part of the
aerator, it will all
bioreactor.
die out. That's what I mean. But you can bring down your cost. Your starter, you don't even have to spend 100,000 pesos based on my estimate costing. You can spend only 2,000 pesos or even less. Multiply it. The most important thing is you have a big bioreactor capacity that can have enough space of aeration that will help in the multiplication.
Yes,
you
we
can
will
do that
consider
very
that.
easily.
Maybe we could save more if we
Yes,
consider
you
that.
can.
what are you using for aeration? How do you aerate?
We have the
Pump.
pumps.
A pump, a fan.
No,
Fan.
the pump,
The
just like in the
sparger.
aquarium.
Okay. So in addition to the reactor,
Yes.
or this is part of the reactor.
Part of
Part
the
of the
reactor.
Okay.
And of course, the carbon dioxide around will be used to provide absorb the, will be absorbed by the
How
algae.
many watts of the LED would you need to replace sunlight?
Based from the computation, one type of photobioreactor would have 5 volts of LED light.
How many watts?
5 watts rather.
5
5
watts.
watts of, no,
5 watts only will replace sunlight?
5 watts
For the small bioreactor.
for the small bioreactor. But for the bigger
We are
one,
planning to use the lamps, the bigger lamps, because it will be used in the ceiling. Because what we have in school is just really small, just a very small bioreactor done by students, and we are planning to do like a big version of the bioreactor, which is the microfarm itself, with the LED lamps already installed in the ceiling.
But do you have an estimate how many watts is required to replace the sunlight at night?
We will
The light will go on
look
at night,
into
right?
it also.
All night. All night you'll have the lights on all night, right?
Yes.
How many watts do you need for a given, let's say, a given square meter or a given 100 square meters?
we don't have the value yet this time because it's under
maybe
the
around
engineer.
2,000 watts for as a total.
Okay.
Since the area is 8 meters by 8 meters. And for the product development, we intend to do it in our Zayed Community Hub because we want to involve the community as well in the product development. So this will provide income generating opportunity for our fellow teachers and even the prisoners in the Bilibid, because our school is located in the compound of the penitentiary or the New Bilibid prison. So we also want to involve our community. So these are our milestones, timeline that indicates the milestone and the purpose of each milestone. So as we already presented to you a while ago, we will have the groundbreaking, laying foundations at first, and then we will construct the microfarm facility. It is Louvre inspired. The Louvre Museum from Abu Dhabi is the inspiration of that aesthetic design. And the procurement and installation of solar panels will also be a part of it. And we will fabricate the bioreactors, the containers that have the spargers and the mixers. And we are also thinking maybe in the future we could include smart farming in our technology, where we can use the Internet of Things, where we could automate everything, like automation of the mixing, agitation, and even the harvesting. So we are working with programmers as well to integrate the Internet of Things in our microfarming. And milestone number 5, harvesting, handling, maintenance, and product development. So this is the business part of our project. We are not really well equipped when it comes to the business aspect, but we are very open to work with experts when it comes to the field. And for number 6, we will construct an off-campus community hub, the one that we are talking about a while ago, and conduct workshops and trainings, livelihood activities to the community. So these are our future plans to replicate the Algae Microfarm at different levels. We have contacts already in other regions, like one member of the Philippine Business Council, who pledged to construct a microfarm in Ilocos. But of course, there will be non-disclosure confidentiality agreements that will be considered as they come up with their microfarm there. And since this has already been applied also for the intellectual property in the IPO. And we also plan to supply harvested algae to different manufacturers and to sell, promote algae products for profit, of course, as income generating for the school and also for us as partners in this project, and also to all other peoples who would like to get involved with this project. So as a call to action, just like Secretary has mentioned a while ago, if you have your, we believe that all of you are really generous enough to help us make this project a reality, because everything has already been planned, but not everything yet has already been implemented. So we have in our school the program Adopt a School by the Department of Education, and we are considering that as we give out the letters to companies, but no one has responded yet. We are encouraging companies and NGOs to pledge support, since they also will receive tax incentives and other incentives as they help us with the implementation of the project. So that's it. Thank you so much, and it's our privilege to be here and to
Okay, get a round of applause for
present
that.
in front of you.
Okay.